All right, everyone. Welcome to the fourth episode of the American Mates podcast. I'm here tonight joined by Mason, Joey, Noah joining us again for the second time. We're going to be talking about our normal 8 topics, 5 minutes each, going over everything that's happened in the recent days and just talk about our thoughts about it. All right, let's get started, boys. All right, so today's first topic, we're just going to be going over some games from the past weekend. The 3 games we decided to pick were Leipzig against Bayern, PSG against Lille, and Chelsea against West Brom from the weekend. Let's start off with the Leipzig Bayern game. This game was pretty much a statement win for Bayern, I'd say. And I don't know. I didn't think they would do it, but this kind of solidifies the Bundesliga title for me. I don't know if anybody's going to catch up, but what do you guys think about it?
Well, in my eyes, that was Leipzig's chance, and now it's gone. They got the lucky jackpot of playing against Bayern Munich without Lewandowski. So, especially at this point in the season, with the title race being the way it was, that was definitely their chance, and I don't really see it happening any other way other than Bayern being in first. But that's just how I see it.
I think there's still games left. It's going to be hard for Leipzig to win, but I mean, if they can pull it off, that'll be a serious.
I know, yeah, that would be
That'd be
cool
a
to
serious
see.
comeback. But I think there's time for
Yeah.
Leipzig to win.
Mm-hmm. All right, on to the second game. We had PSG losing at home 1-0 to Lille. Noah, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, as someone I obviously like Lille as a club. I have a couple of Lille jerseys, and that's where Hazard came from. So I have a soft spot for that club, and I think it kind of proves that they deserve the title this year. It's one of the best seasons they've had in recent history, and they have a lot of good young talent on that team that they might not be able to hold on to this summer. I think there's going to be a couple players leaving that club this summer, but I definitely think they deserve the title, and I think that game shows it.
Yeah, I know. I can agree with you on that. They do have a lot of people that seem to be very good to the point where they're definitely going to be leaving over the summer. I mean, Ikone, Jonathan David, just to name a few. They have a really good team. It's nice to see Ligue 1 being competitive because, it's just
Lyon's
not
in the
fun
title race too.
Yeah. It's just not fun seeing PSG dominate year after year. Kind of defeats the whole purpose, but
True.
on to our last game. We have Chelsea losing at home 5-2 to West Brom.
Joey's eager to pounce on that one.
Yeah, Joey, you can get started with that one.
I think they started off good for Chelsea. They were playing good, but the red card hampered things down for them. And West Brom played really good, and it's just kind of questioning like these lower sides that are battling for relegation, if they can play like that against Chelsea, why can't they do that week in and week out? But it's the way they play.
I know. Noah, what was your first reaction to this game?
I mean, I wasn't surprised. I mean, regardless of who we played at that point in time, I think it was going to be a tough game because it was at the end of international break. And when you have a club like West Brom, no offense, that had basically 2 weeks to rest their players because 0 of them played during international duty. It's kind of rough. And I think having minimal time between the international breaks and domestic competitions isn't really fair to the players or the managers. And the players kind of seemed that like they were off the rhythm that they were on previously. And it just kind of looked like they were not very cohesive.
Yeah, no, I can agree with you on that. Mason, another Chelsea fan. What was your reaction to seeing that score?
I'm glad it happened, as weird as that might sound, because I think now going forward is probably the most important part, because the alleged grace period that managers have when they start at a club is now over. Nobody can be like, well, it's just like this. We'll see what happens, because now it happened. They lost. So going forward, this is what everyone can consider legit, even though obviously it already was legit, but you know what I mean. That argument's kind of out the window, and it shows how they're going to bounce back from losses and stuff like that. And now it's like the real test, basically, I think.
Yeah, definitely. That was my first initial reaction. I'm just glad we got it out of the way
Hmm.
because it's like, especially after today's
Yeah.
recent performance against Porto, that was a nice win. Got 2 crucial away goals and stuff, but we'll dive into that in a couple topics. On to the second topic.
God, that
We
beep
got
was so loud.
we got Tuesday's Champions League games. Yesterday it was Man City 2, Dortmund 1, Real Madrid 3, Liverpool 1. Let's dive into the Man City Dortmund game first. I know Joey's eager to get started with this one and Jude Bellingham, so just take it away.
Yeah, that game was. People all saw that. I think it was a bad call from the referee. Jude Bellingham takes the ball from Ederson. Foul called on him. Don't understand why, but there's no VAR called because the ball didn't go in the net, which I think is a dumb rule. But I think Dortmund still can have their hopes up. They have the
Yeah.
away goal. They weren't like obviously Man City were dominating the entire game, and they literally had one. Well, they've had chances, but they had that one chance and scored. So I think definitely they'll probably could get another goal and beat Man City.
Mhm. Yeah. What do you guys think about that Man City Dortmund game?
I think that was a good away goal. They did decent. I'm not gonna pretend I watched the whole game because I was doing stuff at that time. But from what I saw and what I heard, the ref kind of was not really giving them a fair contest. And obviously the controversial Jude Bellingham goal getting called back was a big deal. But they still did good to get the away goal. 2-1 isn't bad. I think they can do it at home.
Yeah, that was my first initial reaction. I thought they deserved more from the game after
Yeah.
watching it. I mean, they got that goal robbed, the Jude Bellingham goal. I think they played pretty well defensively. I mean, Erling Haaland right at the beginning of the second half had a chance one-on-one with Ederson that
Yeah.
he missed, and a lot of the time he puts it away. Like the game could have gone either way. It just happened to go Man City's way. I think that away goal is really crucial for them, especially going back to Germany.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I do seriously think, like, personally, my second leg prediction, I do think Dortmund's going to go through. I think they somehow squeeze through, but I think, especially with some key guys coming back, hopefully, I think they managed to pull through.
Yeah. I think domestically, Dortmund's been extremely disappointing this season, and I think that game, Man City definitely showed a little bit of weakness. They're obviously one of the best teams in Europe right now, and I think that game kind of shows that they're beatable. Yeah, Dortmund's been very disappointing domestically, but I think that disallowed goal and should give them motivation to fight back in the second leg, and I think they'll put on a good performance, and I think they have a pretty fair chance of coming away with a win over City in the second leg.
Yeah. On to the second game from yesterday. Real Madrid 3, Liverpool 1. I'm gonna say I think Trent Alexander-Arnold is overrated and he can't play defense. I also think Real Madrid's midfield trio definitely stood out to me yesterday. They were always getting the headlines when Ronaldo was there. Real Madrid was also getting a lot more headlines. But Kroos, Modric, Casemiro still proving they're world class. It's nice to see them do well.
Yeah, Mo Salah, nice goal for him, in my opinion. But the real player I want to talk about is Vinicius. I will admit I have not been very sold on him at all up until like now. I think
He's
if he
so
can keep
overrated.
this up, then he will win me over, and I think he showed his potential for sure. But I haven't really seen all that much for all the credit he gets before this.
He's so overrated. He's a street.
Yeah.
He's a street
Nah,
footballer.
nah. I think it's the same old from Liverpool. Balls over the top. They get destroyed so easily. Vinicius and Marcos Asensio way too fast for their back line. And yeah,
Dude,
just a poor
Yeah.
performance from Liverpool overall.
not to be
It's not.
that uh,
Go, Mason.
not to be
Go.
that guy, but they really feel the pain without Virgil. Like
I didn't
Yeah,
notice
they
it
do.
as
it's a
much. I
whole
didn't think
different.
they'd notice it as much.
Going back,
with
dude.
Watford last season, they lost the same way. The balls over the top. They're bad at defending those because they play such a
I
high
know,
line.
dude, but they're dominant with Virgil at the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we just kept saying he's not as good as the Vidishes in recent years and like John Terry and stuff, but clearly he's way more important to that team than we ever thought he was.
I think his leadership is more important than his playing.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
also true.
I think both are important.
Yeah. All right. Before we get into an argument, on to the next topic. Just moving on to today's games that happened. Bayern losing at home 3-2 to PSG, and Porto losing at home 2-0 to Chelsea. We can get started with the Bayern PSG game. Noah, if you want to get us started with that one.
I think it's pretty clear to anyone who watched the game that Bayern pretty much slammed PSG in every other stat except goals today. And I think they're going to be very hungry in the next leg. Obviously, Bayern is an extremely passionate team. I think despite them losing, they proved that they can play without Lewandowski. But you can't take away from what PSG was able to do. Neuer kind of had a little bit of a blunder in the net today, but there was another world-class performance from Mbappe, and I think if PSG can stand their ground, they can advance past Bayern in the next leg.
Yeah, I agree with you. Joey, what were your takes from this game?
I think the game shows that obviously Bayern coming off winning the Champions League, they seemed unbeatable, especially beating Barcelona that season. But I think this game shows that they are beatable, especially their defense. Their defense looked kind of slow there. Of course, Neuer made a bad mistake, but also the
Oh, we seem to
definitely
have lost him.
shows.
Oh, you're
What?
back, Joey. Nah, your mic
Oh,
kind of
okay.
like
It
slipped
cut
for a
out for a
second.
second.
All right.
But
Well,
Alright.
but anyway, it basically shows why Bayern are buying Upamecano this summer. They need they need like a new young defense.
Mhm.
So yeah, my takes here are both teams are still very good. It's kind of crazy that they met this early. Like I think a semifinal matchup between them would have been insane, but the rematch of last year's final, it's on. It's happening. I think Mbappe deserves as much credit as he gets, but me and Sam say this a lot, and he's probably going to talk about it, so I'm not going to over discuss because I want to let him get his bits in on it. But Neymar, surprisingly enough, does not get enough credit. He's
Yeah.
like he's a name you hear a lot, so that might not be your first reaction, but like just the stuff he does, and like I said, I'll let Sam go into more detail, but he's class. He's really class. But Mbappe is really good too, and oh man, and not to mention Bayern, like just going on with that game we talked about from earlier against Leipzig as well. Like they just show that they don't stop even without Lewandowski. Granted, a loss is a loss, but still scoring 2 goals and only losing by 1 to a team of PSG's caliber without your number 9 is impressive.
Yeah, no. And without Serge Gnabry, who got COVID
Right,
yesterday.
that's true.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about
Don't
that.
forget, we have another game to talk about too.
Yeah. On to the Porto Chelsea game from today. Chelsea getting a big win. 2-0. Nice statement win. Bounce back win after getting smashed over the weekend. It was nice to see. Beautiful goal from Mason Mount. I do think Porto's injuries and like suspensions affected them in a way where they're missing their or the leader on the field because Pepe is the captain, but Sergio Oliveira missing him. They're missing Mehdi Taremi due to suspension for punting a ball against Juventus for no reason. And yeah,
God damn
I
it.
think that really costed them today.
Yeah.
But what would you guys? Let me hear from the Chelsea fans.
I think Chelsea definitely got their rhythm back today. I think they show that they're all settled from international break and they're ready to win again. And I think they show that they're still one of the best defensive teams in Europe so far in 2021. Also, just to comment, very classy performances from Christensen and Mendy today. I think they played fantastic. I think Mendy showed his value to the team, and it's just a nice, solid 2-0 win for them moving forward.
Yeah.
As a Chelsea fan, like Sam said, good bounce back win. Good to see them get a big away win 2-0 in the Champions League. As a Porto fan, unfortunate to see them without Oliveira and Mehdi Taremi. I don't know how much they can do it pulling back from 2-0, but hey, they beat Juventus, so who
I think
knows?
they can. I think they
They-
can
they
with Sergio
can.
Oliveira.
I don't think
they
they stand a
It's
chance.
crack.
I
It's
don't think they
crack.
stand a
At
chance.
Stamford Bridge. Oh, it's not Stamford Bridge. It's neutral ground. I forgot.
Yeah, before we move on to our Europa League predictions, I would also like to add Keylor Navas is the most underrated goalie in the world.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Definitely.
And Neymar
on
has
to our
amazing passing.
yeah. Anyways, on to our Europa League predictions. Tomorrow's games are Ajax against Roma, Arsenal against Slavia Prague, Dinamo Zagreb against Villarreal, and Granada against Man United. I'm just gonna talk about the first game, Ajax against Roma. I think Ajax is playing really great soccer right now, and I do see them getting the edge over Roma just because of the quality in their teams. I know Roma's been playing well, but I do think Ajax has more talent, and I don't know. I see them going through for sure. What are your guys' predictions for tomorrow?
I think Ajax and Roma is one of the most even matchups out of all of them because both teams have a lot to prove right now, and I think they're both contenders to win the Europa League. So I think it'll be a good chance for both of them to prove themselves. I have them drawing 1-1. Um, as for Arsenal, I think they might struggle, but I see them coming out with a win. I see Villarreal winning pretty easily, despite Dynamo Zagreb somehow managing to come back against Tottenham in the last round. And I think Man United should have a pretty easy time with Granada.
Joey, you can just go ahead and list your four.
Obviously I think Man United's gonna win. I could see Slavia Prague. Slavia Prague, they definitely surprised us. They probably had one of the hardest runs. Dynamo Zagreb had a pretty hard run so far, but Slavia Prague's probably had the hardest run, facing Leicester in the round of 32, facing Rangers, and now they face Arsenal. I think they could definitely beat Arsenal if they could beat Leicester 2-0. And
Yeah.
I think Roma's gonna beat Ajax just because Roma's on fire. I think their formation's gonna beat Ajax's. And also I think Villarreal's gonna win against Dynamo Zagreb.
Mason,
All right.
4 games.
Me personally, I got Man U taking it pretty comfortably. I don't really see Granada giving them too much trouble. And then I got Roma beating Ajax, but that was just kind of a gut call. There's not really much for me to justify that. I could also see them tying pretty easily. And then Arsenal versus Slavia Praha, I think that's going to be the type of game where Arsenal will probably win, but it could go either way. Like I feel like Slavia Praha could surprise people. I don't know why. They just kind of got that in them. They're usually a tougher match than you would think. Kind of at first, like they were in the Champions League not too long ago. They're an underrated team. And then lastly, but not least, I got a little hot take. I got Dynamo Zagreb. They did it against Tottenham with their coach in jail and everything. I think this is their trophy for the taking. Quote me on it. They're going all the way. They're winning it. They're lifting it. And yeah, those are my predictions.
That'd be something else.
Like I said, I think Ajax is going to beat Roma. I think people are expecting it to be pretty close. I think Ajax tomorrow, especially being a home game, I think they go and win 2 or 3-0. Second leg, I don't know what
Really?
will happen.
No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Have you seen the way?
Dude, I
No,
think so. Yes, I
no,
think
dude.
so.
Roma, you gotta watch the way Roma
Ajax has
play.
been destroying
You
teams.
gotta watch the way Roma play, dude. Roma are very good under their new manager. That guy is a
Yeah.
very good coach.
Just wait till
Too bad he's gonna
Calafiori
get
touches the field.
replaced.
Yeah, wait till Calafiori scores.
Yeah,
No,
my
Ajax is gonna
FM
smash
wonder
them.
kid.
You all heard it here. Ajax is gonna smash them tomorrow.
No.
No,
Arsenal easily over Slavia Prague. I think Dinamo Zagreb is gonna beat Villarreal at home for sure. I think, but I don't think Villarreal is near. I know Tottenham, like it could have just been one game, but I don't think Villarreal is anywhere near the level of Tottenham right now. With the quality of the players that they have in their team, I think Dinamo Zagreb wins the first leg. I don't really know what will happen in the second leg.
Oh yeah.
And I think Man United beats Granada pretty comfortably tomorrow. I mean, I just don't see Granada getting it anywhere. I think
could
Man
see
U
them
beats
tying.
them. No, Man U
But I
went to
can't see
Spain and beat
Granada winning.
Sociedad 4-0, let alone Granada.
Yeah, but we all know Man United. Sometimes they have
Yeah.
those fluke games.
Yeah.
True.
Sadly.
On to the fifth topic. It's going to be about financial fair play being abolished. There's talks about that happening. I'll start off. I personally think that this should not even be in the conversation. I think it has to be in play. There's teams that clearly have an advantage due to their ownership with the transfer budget they get and everything along those lines. I think if they were to abolish this rule, teams would just go out and buy players on players on players, and it would just make the entire game less competitive. But let me hear your guys' takes. Joey, if you want to start us off.
I think the Chinese league is a place to look at where they obviously don't have financial fair play. A lot of people were going there because they could get paid no matter whatever money they wanted, no matter how much money the club had. And now a bunch of teams are being bankrupt, and I think that's going to be bad for not like obviously top teams. I think they have enough money, but I think lower teams that probably don't have as good like spending, they're probably going to go bankrupt because of this. But that's what I think.
Noah, what were your thoughts? I know you were the one that came up
Yeah.
with the question, so
Yeah, I feel pretty strongly about this one, and I think most fans would agree that financial fair play going away would be a disaster for smaller clubs and allow teams like Man City and Real Madrid with rich ownership to virtually buy titles. I think it would just be very harmful to the integrity of the game in general. I think we'd see an increase in corruption and things like that. And I think it would cause like the sort of clubs that just hang around in mid-table to suffer. I think those are the clubs that would get hit the worst. For instance, clubs like West Ham and Everton right now, they don't have the spending capabilities that teams like Man City, Chelsea, and Man United have. I think it'd be totally detrimental to their hopes of breaking into the top four. And I think it would see those clubs very quickly go downhill. Now, if they want to get rid of financial fair play, I'm in favor of that if they have something else to replace it, like some kind of salary cap system like we have here with American sports or something like that that prevents these rich clubs from spending excessive amounts of money.
yeah, I can agree with you definitely on that. I just think it's very unfair. Mason, what are your opinions on it?
Like Noah said, I guess if they have some sort of alternative that does the same effect, but I mean, at that point, why even get rid of it? Quite frankly, while you guys have been talking, I've been sitting here feeling like puking and crying at the same time because I don't see who would think that's a good idea. And I don't know too much about it other than what I've heard from you guys, but whoever came up with that idea needs to lay off whatever substance they're using because I just think that that's probably one of the worst ideas I've ever heard. Like, that is just, I don't see what they were going for, what they thought they were doing. Unless maybe I need to read into it more and see what they were thinking, but there's already like super teams as it is. It feels
I
like it
know.
hardly even like, I don't know, coming from a Chelsea fan who they just splurged money like this past transfer window. There's already teams that are just blowing money left and right. So
Dude, I don't even know what would happen with teams that just like Man City, PSG,
Yeah.
teams like that, like Real Madrid, they would dominate. They already dominate,
Yeah.
basically.
that's
They
what
make
I'm
it
saying.
totally
It's
unfair.
already almost unfair.
They would be able to give teams offers that they literally can't say no to because
Yeah.
it's like insane.
Yeah.
Like any small team that has a wonder kid, Man City's just going to waltz in. We'll give you 50 million for him. Probably be the most money that club has ever received in a transfer.
Yeah, I know.
Literally. Like, look
But
at
then the problem is the transfer value of players is going to go up. So that small club is going to receive $50 million and get to use it on nothing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And even like one that kind of flies under the radar, like look at Bayern. I'm not even saying that they use large amounts of money, but they're half the time their strategy is they buy out their opposition. It's just like, what is that going to become? They're just going to destroy the Bundesliga. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Like,
I mean, they already
like,
do.
yeah, like they already do.
yeah, literally.
And destroy the Champions League, basically.
Yeah,
I mean,
as if the Champions League
besides
isn't corrupt
Spain,
enough.
I don't know. I think that's a stupid rule. But
Yeah.
on to the next topic. We're going to get into Inter Milan Serie A dominance and how we feel about the Serie A title race as a whole. I think Inter Milan is pretty much cruising away with it. I mean, it's nice to see them bounce back. I mean, I know Noah here's an Inter Milan fan. Joey and Mason are AC Milan fans, and I'm an Atalanta fan. But all right, Mason, what are you chuckling at? Just let it out.
Pain, just pain. I thought this was the year for Milan. I thought
Hey,
it
we got
was.
another. We got a.
After like Juventus and stuff dominating, I was like, let's go. We're undefeated. Zlatan's on fire.
They fell off.
And then we
bad.
just fell off a damn cliff, and now somehow we're like, don't quote me on this, but I think 11 points behind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
out
they
of
keep
out of
dropping
the damn
points.
blue.
Mm.
They're dropping
know.
points against like Sampdoria and stuff.
I don't follow
Dude,
yeah.
Serie A very intently, but I do like AC Milan, and just like I can't just point out specific games where this has happened, but just the fact that it's happened is like sad.
Dude, it kind of all went downhill. I feel like once Lukaku and the Zlatan beef started, and then Lukaku
It-
beat them, and it
Dude,
was like a
it started
statement
going
win in
down.
a way.
No, it started going downhill before that. It was Inter Milan. I mean, AC Milan lost to Latan. Well, no, before the Inter Milan game,
Well,
he was
yeah,
hurt, and then they couldn't win a game. They kept on tying, and then Inter Milan
Mhm.
was kept on winning. It's like
yeah. I mean,
I'm happy for at least Inter Milan because it's just it spices it up instead of Juventus winning
Yeah,
it.
true. It is
yeah,
getting to a point where too many of the top 5 leagues, it's just the same team winning. So it's like it is, as much as it's painful, it's better than Juventus.
yeah. I mean, oh, Joey, Mike.
Sorry.
Alright.
Yeah, Inter's probably been my favorite team to watch this year. I mean, I am a Chelsea fan, but the beginning of the season was pretty miserable. But overall, Inter's been
Yeah,
my
no.
favorite team to watch this year. They look extremely explosive. They're playing very confident attacking football under Conte. Conte, probably one of my favorite coaches to ever walk the earth. I love his style. And I have so much respect for what the team has accomplished this year. You have people like Lukaku finding their form and showing that he's a world-class finisher. And I think if Inter continue to bring in players like that within the next few years, they can make the Serie A competitive again and start winning consecutive titles and even making runs at the Champions League.
Dude, I want the Italian league to be competitive again.
So do
True.
I. Juventus is just, but with their history of corruption and stuff, I just have no respect for that club.
Yeah,
Not the players. They have players that I like Chiesa, and I respect Ronaldo and stuff. But as a club, I just no respect.
yeah. I mean, they don't. It's crazy how they were in like the second division not too long ago, and then they just come to the first division and
It's like
magically
the Man
dominate.
City of Serie A.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
All I know is Atalanta will be back. All these
Hopefully.
youngsters, they will be back.
Yeah, if
I honestly-
Josip Ilicic starts playing.
I feel like
Yeah.
the Italian league, when it's on, it's exciting. Like back when we were younger, even though I don't remember it too vividly, like Milan competing and or winning the Champions League. Like I don't know, something about it. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's just weirdly
In the
exciting.
mid 2000s, Serie A was probably the most entertaining league in the world.
No, it
They
definitely
had
was.
so
They had
many
everyone.
world class
Yeah,
players.
it's just like when
Yeah,
it's
The
on, it's
style
on.
of soccer there, the style of soccer in Italy is just unlike any other league. It's way more fast paced. There's a lot more scoring. I think for someone that's looking to get into watching soccer, that is a good league to start. That is a great, exciting, fast paced league, and it's very fun to watch.
Yeah, that's why like I've been enjoying watching Atalanta play recently. It's just goals on goals on goals.
Oh yeah,
It's
very
just so
entertaining.
exciting. And I don't know. It's just I like how Juventus has fallen off a little bit. Obviously, I want Ronaldo to do well, but I also don't want the Premier League to be the only competitive league in the world.
Exactly.
It's getting to the point where it's like I want more leagues where it's not just 2 or 3 teams dominate, or sometimes even one.
Yeah.
I want everybody like West Brom being able to beat Chelsea out of nowhere. I want stuff like that to happen more. But
That's a good transition.
yeah, on to our 7th topic. We got Atletico just blowing their massive lead that they had in La Liga and just the
Yeah.
La Liga title race as a whole. Joey, what were your thoughts on this?
I think it's wide open now. I mean,
Yeah,
they messed up, and now, at the beginning of the season, they're like, oh, Barcelona, Real Madrid, they're done, and now they're caught up. And now Atletico Madrid are
dude.
probably shitting themselves, waiting for because if they lose, they're screwed.
Yeah.
Dude, they are, bro. I still remember, don't quote me on this. I'm pretty sure they were up like 12 points with like
Yeah.
2 or 3 games in hand.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were around mid-season.
And they have just fallen off
I think
completely.
there was a point where they were up by maybe even 13 or 14 points.
Yeah, I thought they were running away with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
I thought they were
completely.
too.
I thought it was over.
It's crazy.
I,
Barca still
I
has
thought
to
they
play.
were
as
even
of
going to win the
recent.
Champions League at that point in time. They looked unstoppable.
yeah. When
Yeah.
we got drawn up against them in the Champions League, I was nervous.
Yeah.
Barca still has to play Atletico and Real too, so those are going to be huge games to mark your calendar for. Because again, kind of like we were just talking about on the last topic, it sucks in a way because it's just the same 3 teams you would expect to be in the race, but at the same time, it's like an exciting race between the 3 of them because you really don't have any idea who's going to walk away with it at this point.
Right. And
Yeah,
I think Barca ends up taking the title. I mean,
same here.
Messi's been unstoppable the past 3 months.
Yeah,
Unstoppable. He's in great form. Atletico are running out of steam, and if they drop like another point this season, Barca's gonna surpass them. And it's just,
yeah,
I know there's 99% of people, not 99%, but there's a high percentage of people that probably consider Messi the best player in the history of La Liga. Um, and I think if he can carry this current Barcelona squad to the title after being down by 12 points, I think it just solidifies that he's the best player to ever touch La Liga. Like like if you look at this Barcelona team on paper, it's like wow, it's a bunch of 19 and 20-year-olds and then Messi. It's unreal. It's unreal what he's done so far this season with the team that he's been on. It's
yeah.
shocking.
I mean, I think Messi's great. I think Messi's very good. I'm not one of those Ronaldo fans that hates on Messi for no reason. I think Messi's an amazing soccer player, and what he's doing is unreal. And like it blows my mind. Like they haven't lost in the league since December.
Yeah. And it's because of him.
They've been on fire. And
Yeah.
I just it's you can tell there was something that went on at like they got that new like there were rumors last summer of him wanting to leave, and I saw
Yeah.
all over my Instagram feed he was going to Man City and all this stuff, and like they got the new president and he's just like Messi loves Barcelona.
Yeah.
I personally don't think he'll ever leave, and if he does, it would be back to Argentina to
Yeah.
go
He's-
play
Yeah.
for.
I honestly think he's gonna leave this summer because
I don't think
isn't his
so.
I
contract?
don't. I think if they win the title, I think he stays.
Yeah, I think he stays.
I think he
but,
stays
mean,
no matter what with Aguero
but his
most
co-
likely going there.
but his contract. I'm pretty sure his contract is running out this summer unless he signs a new deal
Yeah.
like soon.
Well, with the new president, I think he's a lot more likely to
Exactly.
sign a new contract.
That's what I was saying.
And kind of,
he loves it.
piggybacking on what you guys were saying about how Messi's kind of like sort of dragging them through it in a way. Not that every player has been god awful week in and week out, but like a lot of the other players like Griezmann and Dembele, just to name a few, have been like inconsistent and even De Jong towards the beginning a little just like underperforming. And
Yeah.
De Jong's kind of found his form recently, I'd say. But like I can only imagine this Barcelona team when they're all playing the way they should be. Like Griezmann,
yeah.
if they unlock Atletico Griezmann somehow, and if
Oh,
Aguero
yeah.
goes, if Dembele starts playing the way he's supposed to play, Pedri's been doing good. I can
Well,
only
they have a lot of
imagine
good guys.
that team like they
Uh-huh.
winning the Champions League or something because they definitely Ronald Koeman I think is a good coach. He trusts the youth. I think they got a really good team on paper. They just gotta
Yeah,
unlock it.
don't forget about Alex Muriba too. I really rate that
There's a
guy.
lot of talent in that
He's
club.
really good.
Mm.
On to our last topic of today's episode, guys. We're just all gonna mention one transfer that we wish to happen over this summer.
It doesn't have to be realistic necessarily.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. But just one we hope for. Mason, if you want to state yours first.
So mine's it's not really one you hear about. Well, you do hear about it, but compared to some like Holland that you hear every other week or like Aguero at this point, it's not one you hear all the time. And I think it would be cool. It doesn't really need to happen, but Mbappe just finding a new challenge. It's one you hear about definitely, but like I think it would be cool. I think if they win the Champions League though, I don't really see great odds cuz who wants to leave after being like the face of the team that wins the Champions League, but I think it would be cool just to see him play for like Real Madrid or even Liverpool as much as I hate to say it, just like somewhere else doing as good as he's doing now would be sick.
Yeah, it's nice to see him do well though, and I feel like
Mm.
a major contribution to this would be him playing in his home country,
That yeah.
Yeah.
being in France and stuff. But I hope he leaves too.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him on Real Madrid, and
Yeah.
I would love to see just a rivalry again,
Yeah.
like Messi, Messi and Ronaldo, something with Mbappe and Haaland.
I think Holland and Mbappe definitely need to end up in the same league at some point in their career. I think that'd be great.
That would be a crazy step in Serie A if somebody managed to
Imagine.
make that happen.
Oh
Yeah,
my
they have the
gosh.
money.
Joy's probably looking up AC Milan Holland rumors right now.
No, I'm not.
Holland edits
AC
with
Milan,
AC
AC
Milan
Milan
jersey
have
on.
no money.
Yeah.
They're
All
poor.
right, Joey.
They're-
What's one transfer that you want to
Uh,
see happen?
I want to see Potts and Daka go to the Prem. There's already rumors. Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, Man City. They want to strike. All four teams need a new striker, and Potts and Daka is definitely the man. 23 goals in Austrian league. I know it's not much, but I mean I know it's not like a good league, but I mean
Bro,
he's
I don't
nasty.
care if it's not a good league. That team is a factory for
Yeah.
young players,
Dude,
It
dude.
really
they
is.
make good players. They do make good players.
It's crazy. Bro, people are always talking about like Benfica and like Sporting and Ajax having these crazy academies, which they do. I'm not saying they don't, but you got to give credit to like the Red Bull, like Salzburg.
Yeah,
Like,
The whole
they
Red
have
Bull
crazy
like
recruiting.
family of
Red Bull,
clubs.
yeah, Red Bull clubs have crazy recruiting.
it's weird too because they're fairly new.
Like where
Like,
the hell
Yeah.
did they find Potts and
They're
Daka
just
in
very
Zambia?
efficient.
Like
I
where
know,
did they
I
find
know.
them?
Yeah, I can't wait for Zambia's golden generation.
Oh my gosh.
Who knows?
I know, dude. All right, Noah, what's one transfer that you would like to see?
I mean, obviously, it's no secret to anyone here that Chiesa's like probably my favorite young player right now. He's been in great form lately, and I think seeing him move to another club would be really good for him. I mean, he's doing great for Juventus. There's nothing wrong with him being there, but I think he kind of is living in the shadow of some of the other players there right now. I think he could find great success in another league or even another team in Serie A. And personally, I'd like to see him on a team like Bayern. Sounds kind of crazy right now with Lewandowski and what Bayern's been doing, but I think if he plays with Lewandowski for a couple of years, I think he'd be an amazing replacement. He has a real knack for finding the net. He's very skilled with the ball at his feet. I think he can become a deadly world class striker if he's put in the right hands.
I mean, it could happen, but I feel like doesn't he play wing most of the time for Juventus?
Yeah,
He can play.
he played center forward at Fiorentina, and I think Juventus plays him at like right wing.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But he's
good on
he's
the
very
wing.
versatile.
Yeah, he's really good. I don't. The only thing I disagree with that is I don't see him going to another Serie A team. I feel
Yeah.
like I couldn't see him bouncing around like that. But hey, you never
I
know.
mean,
There's
the
been crazy.
Serie A's like with people going between Inter and Milan and stuff
Yeah.
like that, it happens. But I
Mhm.
don't know. I think he needs to move.
Yeah. My player that I want to see happen, moving just to another club this summer, is David Luiz coming back home to Benfica. I'd love to see this happen. He's one of my favorite players. He loves Benfica. I could see it happening. My dad's been saying it for years. Who knows? But that's one thing that I hope to happen.
That'd be crazy.
I know that would be nice, but Jorge Jesus would probably find a way to ruin him.
Yeah. You probably
All right,
play him for
everyone.
like 6 minutes at a time.
I know. This concludes episode 4 of the American Mates podcast. Thank you to Mason, Joey, and Noah for joining me today. And we'll see you guys again next week. Peace.
I'm betting the house on Zagreb to win the Europa League.